What's going on, Arizona sports fan family? How are we doing out here today on this Monday morning, ladies and gentlemen? Draft week is officially here. What is going on, everybody? Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Definitely do me a huge favor if you guys haven't done so already. Smack up that like button. Right now, we got 34 people in the house excited for the opportunity to see who the Arizona Cardinals are going to be picking up third overall in the NFL draft. Now, obviously, a lot of people's heard the rumors, not just with the Cardinals, but with the Texans and what they might do. It's everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. It's talking about it in the Fox media, talking about it in the ESPN media on the uncertainty of what's going to happen with the Texans. And unfortunately, the Arizona Cardinals are picking after the Texans. So we kind of have to wait to see what happens there. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about what I want the Arizona Cardinals to do, what you guys want the Arizona Cardinals to do, and hopefully we can get a good discussion going on about what's going to happen with the third overall pick here in the NFL draft. Because let me be honest here, ladies and gentlemen, this pick is absolutely crucial for the future of the Arizona Cardinals, because, man, we got holes for days. We're also going to be talking a little bit about Monty Osenfor as well as JG's latest press conference, how we felt about that, and, kind of the big things to kind of, I guess, talk about more than anything. Now, obviously, that press conference was specifically around the idea of what happened this offseason so far. Talked about Buddha, talked about D-Hop, as well as the free agency and the players that we're bringing in and stuff like that. So before we get started, definitely, obviously, smack up the like button. Also, big shout out to my sponsor here, Underdog Fantasy. Go ahead and download the app today. Use promo code AZSF to get your deposit matched up to $100. See if you can go ahead and get a 5-man lineup to 20 times your money, ladies and gentlemen. Use Underdog Fantasy today. Promo code AZSF. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about what the Arizona Cardinals should do. What are they going to do? And let's address the rumors, right? Let's address the rumors and what's going on. Now, right now, I believe it was this morning on Good Morning Football, Peter Schrager ended up saying that the Arizona Cardinals are open for business. Now, this might excite some fans out there. Now, I think a lot of people kind of know where I stand in this whole situation. Now, I would love the Arizona Cardinals to stay at 3. And if Will Anderson's there, get him, right? Now, if a circumstance that we find ourselves in, if the Arizona Cardinals stay at 3, but Will Anderson isn't there, I have no problem with the Arizona Cardinals trading back and getting more capital. I'm completely cool with that. But Peter Schrager did come out and say that the Arizona Cardinals are open for business and that we are going to be listening out there to all the offers that are going to be available to see what's going to be the best fit for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, let's chime in what's Monty Osenfort and JG ended up saying in their latest press conference pertaining to who they're looking for, right? Now, Monty Osenfort has said multiple times that they're going to be looking for the best person for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the media has pushed and they ended up asking, are you going best player available? Are you trying to fill need? And he completely said this over and over again. He is trying to find the best player for the Arizona Cardinals organization. Now, that can be a lot of different things, right? That can be a situation that we're finding ourselves with. They're looking at more than just a player. They're looking at personality. They're looking at how he's going to be in the locker room. And there was also a question asked about Kyler Murray, which is completely crazy. Well, I guess we'll dive into that a little later on about, how they felt about Kyler Murray, these new prospects coming in. So that was kind of a little weird and kind of, curveball, but I guess they want to go ahead and, cover all their bases and feel, kind of get a real feeling of these prospects if they do decide to kind of bring them into the Cardinals organization. So right now, the rumors are still out there, being that the Arizona Cardinals are open for business. And yes, I do realize that if the Arizona Cardinals will trade back, if they trade back, they will be getting a lot of assets, right? Now, really just depending if they move out of the top 10, even if they move to the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, they're going to be getting a lot of assets back, right? Now, most likely we will be doing a swap of that first round pick and maybe getting a first round pick next year. Now, I don't see a first round pick happening if we trade back with everybody's dream scenario, which would be the Colts. Now, I have multiple people reach out, right, in the comments on DM saying, why would the Colts, right? Why would the Colts want to move up one spot? What is their intrigue? Their real big intrigue is the fact that if the Texans don't go quarterback, they have their choice of the, I guess, 3 quarterbacks, right? Because right now it seems like Bryce Young might be a shoe-in to go into the Carolina Panthers. People are talking about it right now. So that leaves CJ Stroud out there. That leaves Will Levis. That leaves Richardson out there, right? So it gives them that intrigue. Now, the Arizona Cardinals aren't going quarterback, but doesn't mean that we're not open for business, right? That doesn't mean that another team can't swoop in front of them. So if they do move to the number 3rd spot, that will solidify that they don't have to worry about the Arizona Cardinals dipping out and getting capital, right? So that's what the intrigue for the Colts would be if they choose to do so. Now, right now, there's that rumor that the Arizona Cardinals can possibly trade back. But what Monty Osenfort, he's literally leaving this up into interpretation. However you feel, I think he's basically saying we're going to kind of wing it, right? We have a plan in place, but with the draft, you never know what's going to happen. You truly don't. Like, you think that person's going to be available. Like, for example, the guy on my top big board, right, would be Will Anderson Jr. We don't need a quarterback. I don't see the Arizona Cardinals going quarterback. Now, there's some fans out there that want the Arizona Cardinals to go quarterback. I don't think it's going to happen this year, but Will Anderson is on the top of my big board. So if he were to be at that number 3 spot, I think it would be a no-brainer for the Arizona Cardinals to go after Will Anderson Jr. But if they do decide to trade back, there's a lot of interpretation, right? Now, I did make a video probably about 2 weeks ago, maybe 2.5 weeks ago, giving you my top 5 prospects in the top 10, because I don't want the Arizona Cardinals to leave the top 10. I still do truly think that my top 5 prospects is going to be chosen. One of these top 5s are going to be chosen. It's going to be Will Anderson, Devon Witherspoon, Paris Johnson. Who else did I say? Christian Gonzalez, and why can I think of and Jalen Carter. My top 5. It has to be one of those 5 guys. Now, whether the Arizona Cardinals trade back or not, I would be happy with these guys. Now, if Will Anderson's there at 3, I probably won't be as excited. I'll get over it, right? Obviously, I'm an Arizona Cardinal fan. I'll get over it, but it's going to be one of those situations where there's fans out there that feel like if they don't go Will Anderson, it's a bust. It's an automatic bust. Now, I'm not sure if I'm there yet because of the idea of them being so new. I have a little bit of an excitement in me, being that this isn't Keim, right? Now, sometimes I kind of get a little clouded because I think of this organization and I think of Keim, but it's a brand new regime out here. So they can either go the way that most Cardinal fans want, which is Will Anderson Jr., or they can, do something completely out of left field and they can get a big ransom back. They can get a huge thing coming back their way. So as of right now, exactly like Monty Osenfort said, we know what we want to do, but they just have to kind of wait and see how it all pans out, right? Those are my top 5 prospects that I would love the Arizona Cardinals to get. Let me recap again. Will Anderson Jr., Devon Witherspoon, Christian Gonzalez, Paris Johnson, or Jalen Carter. I feel like any of those players would be really, really cool. Now, obviously, in certain situations, some would be cooler than others. I don't want the Arizona Cardinals to get Paris Johnson at 3. I don't want the Arizona Cardinals to get Christian Gonzalez at 3. Devon Witherspoon. You know what I'm talking about, right? It depends on the specific situation on how this draft night lands. It's essentially exactly what I'm saying. Let me go ahead and get to my first contribution. We got AZ Fan. What's up, brother? Appreciate the contribution. He says this: I think the Texans are going to draft Will Anderson, and I think CJ Stroud is going to be available at 3. This is going to be crazy. Yeah, no, you're right. Honestly, with the rumors that we're hearing right now, to the people that like myself, I'm not trying to knock on the idea that Davis Mills isn't good, right? I'm not trying to say that Davis Mills, which is the current quarterback, which most people think that he will be the starter, right? He would be the starter for the Texans if they don't go quarterback. I'm not saying he's garbage. I'm not saying he's trash, but how would you try to sell that to your organization, right? Let's try to run it back with Davis Mills. Now, we've seen organizations do it, but I don't know. I don't know how they're going to try to sell that to their organization, being like, oh, yeah, we're going to run it back with Davis Mills. Now, granted, Will Anderson Jr. would be a huge win. And if they do trade up to number 3 with their 12, man, it's going to be wild to see what the Texans are going to do. I 100% agree with you, AZ fan. Let's see how it all comes out. There's still a lot of teams in my mind. We made a video about this as well, that I do truly believe that there's some teams out there that can very well want that 3rd overall spot, right? There's a lot of quarterbacks that can very well go to teams. There might be a team out there that we never talked about that can kind of get, tossed up to the 3rd overall spot. I completely forgot my list and what I have, but I do remember that my list contained of New England can be a possibility. I know there was a rumor out there saying that they don't want an interest in a quarterback. The Jets, if Aaron Rodgers don't work out, I think it is going to work out more than anything. I still truly believe the Raiders are in it. I still truly believe the Atlanta Falcons are in it. The Seahawks might be in it. Obviously, the Colts might be in it as well. So there's a good amount of teams out there that can very well get that 3rd overall spot from the Arizona Cardinals. But just like Monty Osenfort said, we just kind of have to wait and see what the teams before us are going to do. Because let's be honest, I think most fans would be shocked if the Texans don't go quarterback. If they don't go quarterback, most NFL fans, I'm not saying Cardinal fans, most NFL fans will be shocked if the Texans don't go quarterback. I truly think they should go quarterback for my own selfish reasons. I think they should go quarterback for my own selfish reasons, but we have lived in situations, we have lived in scenarios where, sometimes in my mind, common sense doesn't really pan out, right? So we'll see. We'll see. It's unfortunate that we have to wait to see what the Texans are going to do because at one point, everybody thought quarterback. Now, I don't think it's as 100% right now. I would say 75% they'll go quarterback, but 25% they can throw a stick in the wrench, in the stick in the plans of the Arizona Cardinals. And now we might find ourselves with the best 2nd quarterback, right? Or maybe a top quarterback to other people, because we're going to be left with Stroud. We're going to be left with Levis. We're going to be left with Richardson at that number 3rd overall spot. If the Texans truly go Will Anderson at number 2, it would break my heart. It truly will break my heart, but the Cardinals will now be in the driver's seat. Now we will have to wait and see if we trade back, because if we trade back, we can get the quarterback, we can get an offensive tackle, but it just depends. If we find ourselves in number 3 and nothing comes up and Will Anderson's there, you all know what I want. And I hope the Arizona Cardinals do the same. But as of right now, we will see exactly how it pans out. So the rumors are still there, right? It's coming from Peter Schrager. It's coming from the ESPN reporters that the Arizona Cardinals can do any which way. As a Cardinal fan, I want the best person, non-quarterback in this draft. I want the best non-quarterback prospect in this draft. And to me, it's Will Anderson. I know there's some fans out there that think Tyree Wilson is it, right? I know there's some fans out there that feel like the cornerbacks are the best. That's cool, right? Opinions, people got opinions for days. To me, it's Will Anderson. And I understand the thoughts of people saying that the Arizona Cardinals are not in a one player away from rebuild. I get it. This Arizona Cardinal roster is not great. I understand. I don't think Will Anderson is going to be the guy that's going to solve it all. No, I don't think that. I'm not foolish to. I know we have many holes, but I do believe that that's going to be a staple point for the Arizona Cardinals' future moving forward. And let's keep in mind, we got 8 picks, 8 picks in this draft. We have 8 picks, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8. So if we can land 4 of those 8 picks and they're starters for the Arizona Cardinals, that's huge. Will Anderson, if we get a cornerback in the second round, if we get a tackle, if we get a running back, this draft can be very good for the Arizona Cardinals. It can be very good. It just depends on how it all lands for us. If we can land 50% of these picks, we got 4 picks in the top 100. That should be that's a dream made in heaven, to me at least. I think the Arizona Cardinals can address edge. And we'll talk about Majay. We'll talk about Cam Thomas here pretty soon. Because I know there's some people saying, I don't want to get Will Anderson because we got those 2. Right now, I like what they're bringing to the Arizona Cardinals. I truly do. But they're not Will Anderson. To me. They're not Will Anderson. Do I want them to progress? Do I want them to get better and better? Yeah, of course, obviously. But to me, they're not Will Anderson. Lost my train of thought. But yeah, I mean, at this very moment, we'll see, right? We'll see exactly what happens here. We have some people on the comments saying the Texans may have interest in Wilson. Tyree Wilson. We'll see, right? I mean, at this very moment, it's just a wait and see type of thing right now. And I get it. Most Cardinal fans, not most Cardinal, and I don't want to put that on you guys, not most Cardinal fans, but like I've never seen so many people want so many different things. It's crazy, but it's cool. Like, honestly, I'm excited. I'm excited that now Cardinal fans are taking interest, right? I love the fact that there's so many different opinions out there because one of them's got to be right? I'm not saying mine is right. Will Anderson can be a bust. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. But as of right now, we're allowing Monty Ford to cook. We're allowing JG to use those talent that Monty Ford picks, and we'll have to kind of wait and see how it comes out. Let me get to my contribution here from Deus. What's up, brother? He says, what teams usually do? Pick best player available overall. Then we will actually see a pick for QB Levis/Stroud. Remember, Monty said he will provide competition at all positions. My guy Deus over here, I know you love Levis, but here's the thing. I just don't see the Arizona Cardinals get a quarterback. I don't. There was a recent thing with the Arizona Cardinals. I believe Kyler Murray ended up getting a statue built. Yes, an actual statue built at OU. At OU. He got a statue built, and the Arizona Cardinals organization, for the most part, like a lot of them went. And I'm talking about JG. I'm talking about Monty Ford. Like, I truly feel like the Arizona Cardinals want Kyler Murray. Now, I'm not saying they're like married to him for years and years and years. No, I don't think that. I do believe that they're in a position right now where they believe that Kyler Murray can be the guy, but it's not a forever thing. It's not a forever thing. But as of right now, I think they are sold in Kyler Murray. So, but I guess we never know, right? We never 100% know. But here's the statue, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, there was a statue made from Kyler Murray for his college days playing at OU. It's crazy. Good for him. That's all I got to say. Honestly, good for Kyler Murray, because this is actually pretty cool. It's a really cool privilege. It's a really cool thing to do. Like, you have a statue, man. That's absolutely amazing. So I know there's some people out there that want a quarterback. I just don't see the Arizona Cardinals doing it. Not in the first round, anyways. I'm sorry. Let me correct this. I just don't see the Arizona Cardinals getting a quarterback in the first round. If they get a quarterback in the later rounds, I am game. And y'all know who I want. Yeah, I've been done multiple mock drafts, and I have put a quarterback in the later parts of the draft. I love competition. I love making people better. I'm game. It's just the first round. I don't see it happen. I just don't see it happen. So yeah, it's cool. Good for Kyler Murray. Getting himself a statue. And then so we saw JG, we saw Monty Ford over there. Now we've heard Steve Keim say Josh Rosen's our guy, right? We all remember that. Oh yeah, Josh Rosen's our guy. Or he also said that yes, he's our quarterback for now, or he's our quarterback right now, right? We've heard things like that where you don't really 100% put your eggs in the basket of what these guys are saying, because they love to talk to the smoke screens. They love to talk to the idea of, like, right now it's where you have to put your poker face. Like, this is the time. Right now we're in draft week. We're going to hear so many rumors, y'all. So many rumors. But I think there's going to be so much NFL news coming out this week as well. The Aaron Rodgers news, like the Aaron Rodgers to the Jets, that should be coming out this week. I'm only assuming this would be coming out this week. Buda Baker, like, we're going to talk about Buda and D-Hop and what Monty Ford said about them as well, because they've had conversations per Monty Ford pertaining to them too, and we're going to dive into that as well. But yeah, going back to the quarterback thing, I just don't see it happen. I just don't see it happen. Let's get to this. A couple comments here real quick. Somebody says draft a quarterback with the last pick. I'm not opposed to it, honestly. With the last round, I'm not opposed to it. If you guys haven't seen my drafts, my mock drafts, I put a quarterback in there, just not in the first round. Clayton Tune, right? Stenson Bennett, Aiden O'Connell. There's one other person that I can't. Well, those are I guess the top ones. There's another guy in UCLA. I think it's like Dorian Thompson. His last name is. I forgot what his first name is. But I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, if the Arizona Cardinals go quarterback in the later rounds, I think that would be cool. I think that would be cool. I think that would be cool. So let's talk about this real quick. Let's talk about Buda Baker and DeAndre Hopkins, right? This is something that has, I guess, clouded the offseason for the worse for the Arizona Cardinals organization. And if you guys want to talk about the jerseys, I have a poll question out there right now saying, have you guys bought a new jersey for the Arizona Cardinals? I'm curious to figure out if you guys actually have bought a Arizona Cardinal jersey. Let me know in the chat, because I'm just so curious for myself if you guys have bought one. I personally haven't bought one yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to, not anytime soon, but we'll see. Let me get to this contribution, then we'll talk about Buda and D-Hop. What's up, Deus? He says RG3 also had a statue. So, yeah. Okay. Touche. All right. Let's see. So, Buda Baker and DeAndre Hopkins, right? Something that's been clouding the Cardinal news for a good majority of this offseason. Now, Buda Baker has came out, or at least reports has come out saying that Buda Baker wants to be the highest paid safety, right? There was a report that came out and said that. Buda Baker has came out publicly and said, I love you, Arizona Cardinal fans, right? He's come out and said that. He's come out and put gifts out there of Michael Jordan saying that, all he had to hear is this, and that, and it became personal for him. So we understand that Buda Baker is disgruntled with the Arizona Cardinals organization, and it seems like it's all coming from a contract negotiation. He wants to be the highest paid safety right now. Now, there's Cardinal fans out there that you can look at any post from the Arizona Cardinals, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, anything. There's at least 5 to 6 different people saying, yes, we don't care. Pay Buda Baker, right? Yes, we don't care about the new jerseys. Pay Buda Baker. We've seen it. We've seen those different comments that are out there. Now, Monty Ford realized and he acknowledged the fact that Buda Baker has went public with the thoughts of, yes, he's requested a trade out of the Arizona Cardinals. Now, Monty Ford has also said that he doesn't like doing business like that. He likes to keep those conversations in-house. Do I think that has plagued? Do I think that has put a black cloud on top of maybe him getting paid? Maybe. Right? Maybe. I'm on board with the Arizona Cardinals paying Buda Baker. I think the Arizona Cardinals should. True, I truly do. Right now, the last time I looked, I believe the Arizona Cardinals have upwards of 20 million. It's like 19 to 20 million dollars in cap space right now. I think they have the ability to pay Budda Baker. I think they do. Now, do they have other plans first? Do they want to get through the draft first? Probably, right? Did Monty Ossenfort look at Budda and say, maybe this isn't the time, right? We need to focus on this first. Maybe. Did that disgruntled, Budda Baker? Probably. But as of right now, it's ongoing talks. Now, to the average person, me and you, that means I've gotten on a phone call and we're talking. Probably not. It might be emails getting sent back and forth, being responded every second to third day, but it's not a conversation with Budda Baker. It's a conversation with his sports agents. That's probably what's going on. Now, to me, if I was the GM, I feel like that would be my top priority list. I feel like that would be the number one thing to do. We heard JG talk about how great Budda Baker is and how we want players to be exactly like Budda Baker because he should be the example. He should be that guy. We've heard Monty Ossenfort say the same thing. This was the beginning, right? Where I'm talking about the press conference before they got, just after they got hired. That's what I'm talking about. And now we're sitting here with Budda Baker possibly, leaving the Arizona Cardinals. Oh, I don't want to live in a world where we don't have Budda Baker back there. I don't want to. Can it happen? It can. Will I be upset? Yeah, I probably would be upset because he's a player that you do not want to let walk. You do not want to let walk, at least to me. Now, JG has also talked about the idea of, where he doesn't like the term of rebuilding. I think this Arizona Cardinal team isn't in contention to win a Super Bowl, right? I think maybe most Cardinal fans can agree with me. There's some Cardinal fans out there that think the Arizona Cardinals are going to win more than 5 to 6 to 7 games. That's cool. Keep the optimism. That's awesome. That's great. But with the moves the Arizona Cardinals have done, with the rumors that we've heard so far, yes, granted, Budda Baker's still on the roster. Yes, granted, DeAndre Hopkins is still on the roster. But how can you move off? How can you move on, right? It takes a lot for a player to go public. Sometimes that ego, sometimes that hurt of you didn't get your extension when you wanted it might override a contract extension later on down the road. And that's something that I fear. Almost kind of like maybe they might have already burned the bridge there. But Monty Ossenfort said they're still in talks. So right now, he's still an Arizona Cardinal. Right now, I'm hoping that Monty Ossenfort is going to be able to retain that talented player that we ended up drafting. TBD. Let me get to know F. Skivens. He says, last time we paid, we paid a player, we lost a lot of games. Last time we paid a lot of, paid a lot of player, we lost a lot of games. And you're referring to Kyler Murray, right? But here's the thing. To me, I don't think we lost a lot of games because we paid a lot of players. To me, I don't think we did. This was something that was bound to be happening. And we talked about this for years on this channel. For years. The Arizona Cardinals were making the right things. They were making the right progressions. But we didn't lose this many games because we paid Kyler Murray, in my mind. Budda Baker came out and said we were unprepared, which I said that this Arizona Cardinals team coming and playing this Kansas City team the very first week, we were unprepared. We weren't ready to play that type of team. But it's not just on Kyler. It's not just because we paid Kyler Murray that we lost 4 games. It's nothing to do with that. It's building a roster, right? It's building a roster, right? Bringing the right people up together. So if you pay Budda, I don't want people to think that we're going to be losing a lot of games because Budda was paid. Honestly, like Budda Baker is a player that you want to retain. Try to change my mind any other way. This man was set to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. This guy came back after 2 or 3 weeks because he wants to win. That's the type of guy you want to, suit up next to. That's the type of guy you want in your locker room. At least in my opinion. Now, DeAndre Hopkins. This was also in talks Monty Osifor also spoke to it. Now he spoke a little bit less. He spoke less about DeAndre Hopkins than Budda Baker, but very similar to that. He wants these conversations to stay in house. He wants these conversations to stay, to where they're able to control it amongst them too. Do I see Budda Baker and DeAndre Hopkins being an Arizona Cardinal next year? I want to believe it. I want to believe that the Arizona Cardinals are going to be able to keep them, right? Because DeAndre Hopkins came out and said, there was a tweet that came out, and I'm not sure if you guys saw this tweet, but he said, in quotes, DeAndre Hopkins is not looking for an extension. That's what he said. Now, he ended up taking that down. That probably because maybe a sports agent came up and said, hey, bring that down. So DeAndre Hopkins, I don't think it has to do with the contract, at least per his tweet. I think he wants to win. He wants to win. And whatever JG says, we're going to win games, right? That's what he said. We're not, don't get it twisted. We're going to win games this year. With what we have, with what roster we're looking at right now, I think it would be, to me, we're not a team that's going to be contending for the West. We're not. We have so many holes in this roster that we need to recover, and then we need to figure out what we're going to do. So do I want DeAndre Hopkins and Budda Baker to be in the 2023 Arizona Cardinals uniform? Of course I do. Of course. But there is a reason. There is a reason why the Arizona Cardinals did not have Budda Baker and DeAndre Hopkins in the new uniforms presenting. There's a reason. Contract negotiations outweigh hype of new jerseys. Outweigh it. They outweigh the hype of the new jerseys. Contract negotiations, unfortunately. So, yes, I want them to be in the Arizona Cardinal uniform next year. Do I think it's going to happen? I think one of them, if I'm trying to be blindly optimistic, I think one of them might be. Maybe Budda, maybe DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think it's going to be both, unfortunately. I don't think it's going to be both. Do I want? Yes, of course I want them. Great players. But to me, I have a little bit more of attachment to Budda. I have a little bit more of an attachment to Budda. Someone in the chat says, I doubt we will win a single game this year. We got nothing but garbage free agent. Osifor is going to trade down for things that add up. And here's the thing. So we got my guy Daniel here in the chat saying this right here. So here's the thing. And I want to be very, 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 very clear that the thought that's out there with fans, some people think that I'm negative, right? Some people saying, oh, Mike, you're just so negative. I'm just realistic. That's just what it is. I'm realistic with my takes. I'm realistic with the things that I feel like is going to happen this next year. It's what it is, right? I love this Arizona Cardinal organization. I do. It's my team. I was born and raised in Arizona. They're my team. They're my football team. But there's Cardinal fans out there that truly do feel like we're not going to win a single game next year. And if we don't win a single game next year, then you better bet your bottom dollar that a new quarterback is going to be on the rise. And those little pictures that we took in OU is not going to matter. But for this year, to me, that JG and Monty Osifor pictures going to the unveiling of the statue of Kyler Murray, it speaks volumes to me. That they at least acknowledge that a first-round quarterback is not going to be taken. Now, in the other rounds, I can't speak to the second, to the third, to the fourth, I can't speak to any of those. And I want the Cardinals to go quarterback in maybe the later rounds. I do. I want to bring competition. But we'll see. We'll see. I got 2 poll questions that I ended up putting on my community post, and all the people that has voted, I appreciate you guys. You guys are the biggest reason, obviously, why we have this channel and why it's grown so big. Let me make sure that I put a couple of these screenshots up here right now. This is the first question that I asked you guys 9 days ago. This is what fans truly feel like. This is nothing to do with This has nothing to do with the Arizona Cardinal fan base saying I'm jumping ship. There's a few people that are jumping ship, and that's completely fine, right? That's their decision. But this was posted 9 days ago. We had over 1,200 votes. This is a question that I ended up asking you guys. With all the news, who has been turned off by the 2023 Arizona Cardinals? Ladies and gentlemen, look at that poll question. This is over 1,200 people. 1,200. How many people fit inside State Farm Stadium? 65,000? Is that correct? I'm just throwing a number out there. Is it 65,000? Well, this right here is a percentage of that. This is about 2 or 3% of that. Of people saying, maybe actually a little more than that. I'm not really good at my percentage. But we have 83% of people saying that they have been turned off by the Arizona Cardinals with all the news that's been happening so far. All the news. And not only that, check this out. This is 3 days ago. Are you a fan of the new Arizona Cardinals jerseys? We got 46% saying yes. 54% says not. It ain't it. And we have 1,400 votes. Wild. Y'all, this is an off season that I truly feel like the Arizona Cardinal organization, they tried. They truly tried to make fans happy, but Cardinal fans, I think they felt let down. I think they felt let down. There was a lot of optimism with Sean Payton. Didn't happen. There was a lot of optimism about the new uniforms. 54% out of 1,400 people doesn't like the new uniforms. And over this weekend, I actually ended up speaking to a few people that just brought it up because they know I do this podcast. A lot of people looked at me. They're like, what do you think of the new jerseys? I'm like, I mean, we'll see. I was like, they're probably going to grow on me. They're like, they suck. That's what people told me. They're like, there was no effort put into it. And I was like, okay, well, maybe we'll see. Right? Maybe they'll grow on me. Laughing stock, y'all. Laughing stock. It's just to put it lightly. To put it lightly. But yeah, I mean, at this very moment, what my guy Daniel in the comments said a little earlier, he's not the only one feeling that. Let's just put it that way. Not the only one feeling it. A lot of news. Obviously, the draft is the biggest thing that we have to talk about. And with all the rumors that are coming in and out, it all circles back to what are the Cardinals going to do at the 3rd overall spot? Let me ask you guys. If the Arizona Cardinals are sitting at the 3rd overall spot, let's say this is draft night, 3rd overall spot, Will Anderson is there. Do you get Will Anderson or do you trade back? We got 87 people here in the chat. Let me know in this chat what you guys would do if you were Monty Ossenfort. 3rd overall spot in the NFL draft, and Will Anderson is there. Will you get Will Anderson? Will you draft another player? Or will you trade back? Let me know in the chat. Because I think right now we're living in a world where there's just so many different opinions out there. So many different opinions. So many different opinions. And I love reading them all. I love reading them all. We've heard some wild ones. We've heard some ones that make sense. Some of them that are completely out of the blue. But now it makes more sense. Somebody in the chat says trade back no matter what. Somebody in the chat says Will Levis. Sheesh. Somebody says trade back. Take Will Anderson. Trade back. Trade back. Trade out. Trade back and rebuild. Anderson. Will. That seems to be the consensus. Trade back. Will Anderson. We got one person saying Will Levis. I don't think that's going to happen. Seems to be the consensus. We got 8 picks in this round. We got 8 picks. 8 picks. I think you can rebuild with those 8 picks. Cardinals aren't going to do anything. I don't think we're going to be a great team. That means we're going to have another rounder, right? Another high round pick next year. Another 7 next year, just really depending on how they fall. I actually haven't taken a look at the 2024 draft picks and how much we have, but I'm just going to go with 7 just because there's 7 rounds. But, I mean, we could still rebuild with not trading back, in my opinion. Because if you can get the best edge rusher, if you can get a cornerback, if you can get a tackle, if you can get a guard, with those 4 picks in the top 100, I think that would be a huge win. I think that would be knocking this draft out of the park for the Arizona Cardinals. Someone in the chat says those 8 picks can be 10. Yeah, no, I agree with you. But I mean, out of those picks, most of them don't see the light of day. Like, most of those picks don't pan out. Let's put it that way. Now, there's been a question out there saying that if I'm going to be doing a draft party here on the channel. At one point, I was like, yes, I'm 100% go. I'm going to do it. Now, I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to do so for a couple different reasons. Every single time there has been a draft, I have not been excited about it. Instant reaction. I haven't been excited. A couple days, a couple hours, couple minutes, not my opinion has changed, but as I've calmed down. So I fear that if they do trade back, you're gonna see very, very, very upset, Mike. So I think I might not do a draft watch party this year, because I do not want that on camera. Just FYI, I'll keep you updated in the community post if I'm gonna do it or not, and I'm gonna obviously let you guys know here pretty soon. But to me, I think it's Will Anderson at the 3rd overall spot. I think the Arizona Cardinals need to go Will Anderson, and then the other picks that we have, just making sure that we at least hit half of them. If we hit more, great. But the idea to me, I'm always going to say quality doesn't always equate to quantity, or quantity doesn't always equate to quality. That's what I truly meant. Quantity doesn't always equate to quality. So we will see how this goes. I am worried that we will trade back, and especially if Will Anderson is there. Now, I hope the Texans do grab Will Anderson. I hope they do grab him if the Cardinals are deciding to trade back. I truly, truly do, because I don't want to whiff it. I don't want to whiff it. Just because you're rebuilding doesn't mean... Yeah, that's true. No, that's absolutely true. 100%. Exactly. Rebuilding doesn't mean you can't win games. 100%. I 100% agree. But it also does... You have to have a roster to win games, right? You got to have a roster. When is Kyler coming back? Are we keeping D-Hop? Are we keeping Buddha? Right? Everybody on this roster has aged up. We got James Conner. I like James Conner as a running back, but he's been getting hurt, or he's gotten hurt. Can we depend on James Conner? We might have to get a running back in the draft, right? So it's a lot of questions. Yeah, I agree. Rebuilding doesn't mean we're not going to win games. I agree. But your win games, does that mean 2 wins, 3 wins, right? Well, what does that mean? So I think we will win games. I'm not going to put a number on it because I want to see what this draft class is going to look like. So we'll see. Let's see here. Let's see. If we can get Anderson, then he would be a building block for our defense. Will put up poor let's see here. Whoa. Wilson put up poor numbers until his senior year. Yeah, and that's what I feel like too. Yeah, that's what I feel like too. I feel like Will Anderson is more of a polished product than Tyree, in my opinion. Somebody says, let's go Jeff Driscoll. Oh, win the Super Bowl. Let's go. Love it. Let's see here. I mean, people think that this guy is Nick Bosa. Something got to turn on the tape a little of his stats were fake productions from stunts and free rushers. Really good players, but he's not generational. Everybody's so negative. Where is your hope? It's not that. So let's address that. Let's address that. I don't think that. To me, I don't think it's negative. I think it's just being positive. I think you're just being real. I think you're just being real. I was called negative 2 times in a row, right? 2 years in a row, I was called negative. We don't get the result that we want ever. We don't ever get the result that we want. The result, Super Bowl, right? Or at least being a competent team towards the end of the season. We don't get that. So unless this new regime can get it going, hey, let's go. If they can, and if we're winning games, let's go. I mean, I guess it's happened to the Diamondbacks, right? There was no expectation, and the Diamondbacks are winning games. So maybe, right? I mean, we'll see. Somebody says hope has died. Hope has died. Honestly, I think Cardinal fans right now, what's the best way to put this? We don't want to get our hopes up. I guess that's it. Hopefulness could be out there. That's fine. Have hopefulness. It's just when you don't do anything in free agency, it's hard to say you're going to win games to win the West, right? Now, if your hopefulness is saying we're winning 4 games, great. I have hope for that too. You know what I mean? It depends on what your hopefulness is. Are we winning the West? Or are we going to be wild card? Like, depends on what you're looking for. What's this hopefulness, right? So, do I think we're going to win 3, 4, 5 games? Yeah, I got hopefulness to that. It's just, it's reality. It's the reality of what our Arizona Cardinals organization is and where we are at right now. It's unfortunate, but it's what it is. Somebody once said, right, that we are the place where hope dies. This is where right? Some people might have said that. Now, I'm excited about the new regime. I want to see how they handle it. Yes, that's what I'm hopeful about. But to say we're gonna win games, I'm not there. We didn't do anything in free agency to me. We got to go for historic haul of picks. Well, also too, like if Buda Baker stays, we don't have to worry about picks from him. But if DeAndre Hopkins ends up getting traded away, we'll get picks from him. Now we'll see about that, right? We'll see about that. Somebody in the chat says you guys can eat a lot of crow if we win the West. Oh, if that's the truth, days. Oh, if we win the West, I will be eating crow for days. Mark this right now. I will be eating crow for days, and I'll be fine with that. 100%. Rub it in my face. That's cool. I love it. I'll have a crow pie sandwich if that's the case. But if we don't win the West, I want y'all to have the same energy to come back and say, you were right. Most people don't come back and say you're right. Most people don't. Most people don't come back and say, Mike, you were right. And that's fine. That's completely fine. But I hope they do come back. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Right now, it's all about the draft for the Cardinals. Right now, it's all about the draft for the Cardinals. What's up, Matthew? He says, well, Kyler looks fine. Maybe he comes back for the start of the season. I do believe there is hope for me that Kyler Murray will come back sooner than people think. And what I mean by sooner than people think, people are thinking that he doesn't come back till mid-season. No, I don't think that. I think Kyler Murray is coming back sooner than people realize. Maybe not week 1, maybe not week 2, but week 3, I think he'll be back. I truly do. I think Kyler Murray will come back sooner than people think. Someone just says Cardinals eating crow. We'll see. Let's see. Perfect trade scenario. Texans pick Anderson and we get a haul and trade back to 11 and take Nolan Smith. If we trade back, to 11, dang. If we trade back that far back, I would hope the Arizona. I don't have any issues with Nolan Smith. I have no issues with Nolan Smith at all. No issues. But if that were to be the case, I would want the Arizona Cardinals to go offensive line if we trade that far back or cornerback. Because of the same argument of people saying we'll land Cam Johnson or not Cam Thomas and Majay. Nolan Smith, I think, is a good talent, good prospect. But I would get a tackle back there if we do trade back to 11. I don't want to move the top 10. I don't not want to leave the top 10. But if the Cardinals do it, I hope we do get a haul, which we will. Something in the chat says the Browns traded down every year for years, and look what they did. 1-4. Somebody once told me that the Cardinals are the Browns of the NFC. Somebody once told me that the Cardinals are the Browns of the NFC, and that's coming from another fan base that is garbage. That's also living in the NFC. So that's pretty sad. I think it's a no-brainer to me, right? In my own mind, I think it's a no-brainer. I think you go Will Anderson. Because let's be honest, I think most of these teams, all 32 teams, non-quarterback, most of these 32 teams have Will Anderson at the top of their board. I think Jalen Carter was there. Along with Will Anderson, but because of the whole Jalen Carter thing, I think he's gone pegged down. He's gone down on people's draft boards, right? Because there's a little concern with Jalen Carter, with his off the field stuff. But for the most part, all 32 teams, if you were to give me a percentage, most of the 32 teams, non-quarterback, they probably have Will Anderson at number 1. Nobody has Nolan Smith at number 1. Nobody has Tyree Wilson at number 1. I'm talking about percentage. I'm sorry. Let me clarify this. I'm not saying nobody has them at number 1. I'm saying the percentage of these organizations are going to lean favorited to Will Anderson. Why can't the Arizona Cardinals just go with what all the other teams truly feel like is the best player out there? Because I think the Arizona Cardinals would be foolish to not go Will Anderson at number 3. Truly. If he's sitting there. If he's not there, obviously, you can't be foolish if he's not there. But for the most part, most of these organizations, non-quarterback, have Will Anderson at the top of their boards. I could almost promise that. Most of them. Not all of them. Most of them. And I would say 75%. Why wouldn't you go and get that guy that's on everybody's top of the draft board? Why not? Because of the idea of trading back to get more picks? It's not a guarantee that those guys are going to land, and I get it. Will Anderson is not a guarantee either, right? But with what Will Anderson has done in Alabama, with who he is as a person, and what Nick Saban has said about Will Anderson, how do you not want him in your locker room? How do you not want him in your locker room? Will Anderson put up, 10 sacks last year in the 2022 season? Right? Yeah. In 2021, 17.5 sacks, ladies and gentlemen. In 2020, 7 sacks. This is a guy that's been doing this consistently. Will Anderson has been doing this consistently through his collegiate level. 2020, 7 sacks. 2021, 17.5 sacks. 2022, 10 sacks, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want the idea of trading back to get more picks is the best option because we need to, we're not one Will Anderson away to become Super Bowl. I get that, but we got multiple other picks. We got next year's round picks too. So if Monty Ossenfort can know how to make these picks, then we're good. We're in the clear. It's a 2-year rebuild, right? We're rebuilding. JG's not going to admit it. JG wants to win games. That's cool. Keep that mindset. Win games. That's your job. Win games. Will Anderson has done this in a consistent, and I mean consistent basis. I just fear that the Arizona Cardinals, as an organization, I'm not talking about JG, I'm not talking about Monty Ossenfort. Sometimes we fall in love with the idea of the new hot commodity that's come out. We want to be the smartest person out there, right? We want to be the smartest person. We want to get that diamond in the rough. To me, Tyree Wilson is that guy. At the number 3 overall spot, you do not go Tyree Wilson. If you trade back, okay, whatever. Tyree Wilson, 7 sacks. 2021, 7 sacks. 2020, 1.5 sacks. 2019, 1.5 sacks for Tyree Wilson. Now, I'm not sneezing at those stats. I'm not saying, those are... No, I'm not saying. I think he's a good player. I think he's a good prospect. But to sit here and say Will Anderson is not better than Tyree Wilson, to me, is crazy. Is crazy. Is crazy to me. You got to. To me, the right choice is Will. Something in the chat says, it's funny how everyone talks about trading D-Hop and Buddha, but they don't talk about the dead cap. Well, no, I mean, the dead cap is going to be there for sure. the situations that most fans don't really like. It doesn't hurt fan. Like that's the thing. The dead cap hits the front office, right? Dead cap hits the pockets of the owner. It doesn't hit Cardinal fans. It's not something that we have to worry about. But I mean, building a roster it's still pretty important to know about it. But dead cap is dead cap, right? It's money lost unless you negotiate that amongst a trade. Somebody in the chat says, imagine we have 2 or 3 firsts next year. That's a shot at Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, yeah, I mean, you might be right, but imagine we get Will Anderson and he's great, right? Imagine getting that, and then next year we still get Marvin Harrison because in this year we hit our cornerback, we hit our tackle or our guard, right? And we got a running back in the later parts of the draft. We can imagine anything, right? I think anything can be imagined in any which way that we can. This year is still crucial that we hit these picks. I almost kind of feel like most people are saying this year doesn't matter. Next year is going to be where it really matters because that's where we're going to get our draft capital. No, this year is important. We got 8 picks. If we can land 4 of these picks, I think we're good. I think we're in the clear. But you got to start with that guy that's going to be the focal point, especially if you get rid of Buddha. If you lose Buddha, Will Anderson can be that guy for you. And you got to get him young. Got to get him young. I'm tired of trading for players. Although, yes, they're good. Yes, they're great. And yes, I'm excited about it. I want the Arizona Cardinals to start drafting players that become great within our Cardinals organization, like Buda Baker. The Chandler Jones worked out for us. Amazing. DeAndre Hopkins worked out for us. Amazing. But we only have 2 or 3, 4 years with them because they're aging. We didn't draft them. We have to worry about paying them. So I feel like the Arizona Cardinals need to get Will Anderson because he's number 1 in everybody's draft boards. Number 1 in every organization's draft board. Why do we want to be so different? Like, why do we want to be so different? I just don't get it. I don't get it. We got 8 picks. 8 picks is a lot of picks. 8 picks is a lot of picks. And next year we'll have more picks. I think Will Anderson is the right choice, at least to me. Somebody in the chat says, I don't always agree with you, Mike, but you're right on this. Thank you. Well, yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing. And that's the thing, right? I do this obviously to have the conversation back and forth with each other. That's why we do these podcasts. That's why we do these interactive things, because there's a lot of different people's opinions out there. And I think sometimes we get swayed from what national media is saying things, because believe it or not, we got Peter Schrager saying the Arizona Cardinals are open for business. And what does that mean? That gets people excited because more first round picks equate to more possibilities. But if you take a look at all these first round picks in multiple of these years, do me a favor. Go and Google the first round picks of the 2021 season. Go 2020, go 2019. Let me know, out of all those first round picks, how many of those first round picks are starters or superstars. That's what I'm looking for. Superstars or starters. Let me know. Go ahead and do some research. You ain't going to find very many. So that's where I believe that quantity doesn't always equate to quality. If you can get that guy that's going to be the stud, and I mean an Aaron Donald type of stud on your defensive line, you can bring whoever else you want and he will make them better, because now people have to double them. Now people have to worry about what are we going to do about that beast on their defensive line. So I feel like that's the biggest debate. It's not Tyree over Will Anderson. There's some people out there. So I'm not going to try to discredit anybody's opinion about Tyree. If you like Tyree over Will, that's cool. Take that to the grave. You do you, right? You do you, boo. But the idea of the biggest debate is trade back or stay at 3. That's the biggest debate. Tyree or Will, I think most people are like, it's Will over Tyree, unless they trade back, right? And Will is gone. Then yes, obviously you go Tyree. But it's the trading back or Will out. That's the biggest debate. It's the biggest debate. What's up, Edward? He says, those were Keim picks. Wasn't very good. Yeah, no, but here's the thing. Let me clarify, and I'm glad you said that, Edward. Thank you so very much. I'm not talking about Keim's picks. I'm talking about all the picks in the NFL. I'm not talking about picks for the Arizona Cardinals. I'm talking about look at all the first round picks that were picked up from the NFL. So look at every single team's picks, and you let me know the percentage of people that are superstars, and then you let me know how many people are actual starters. Not just placeholder. I'm talking about starters that are actually good players. That's what I'm talking about. Or how many busts come out of the first round. And there's a lot more busts out there than you think. A lot more busts out there than you guys think. So I'm not talking about Keim's picks. We know what Keim's picks are, right? We know. We don't have to relive that. I'm talking about NFL picks. Look at every single first round pick that was picked up in 2021, 2022, 2020, 2019, and you let me know who's a superstar. You let me know who's a starter. You ain't going to find very many because, yes, they're first round talent. Doesn't mean they're going to be great. I'm talking about the whole draft is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Keim's picks. I'm talking about the whole draft. Somebody in the chat says one is still not enough. One's not enough. It is enough if you can get the right guy. It is enough because one person can make the difference in a defensive line, a quarterback, a running back. If you can get that stud wide receiver, they can make the difference if they're that good. Justin Jefferson got picked up in the later parts of the pick rounds. He's their that wide receiver is why that Vikings team is so good. Yes, Dalvin Cook is also good as well, but he is the heart and soul of that wide receiving core. He makes a difference. He's one person. Let's see what is it. We need more linebackers, fans. What's up with linebackers fetish, Mike? We need to take. Well, oh my goodness, Will Anderson is a linebacker, but he's an outside linebacker. It's different. It's different. When people were upset, they were talking about middle linebackers, or at least that's what I was upset with. Middle linebackers, off the line type of linebackers is what I was upset about. Edge is different. Edge is different. Outside linebacker, edge is different to me. Not to mention, Will Anderson regressed this year, which is a wild because he's 21. He's still young, man. He's still young. And here's the thing: like Will Anderson has been there's been so many people have been talking about how great of a person he is too. It's not that he's just a beast. He's a good person too. Like locker room, he's charismatic. Some people say automatically Pro Bowler. Some people are saying Defensive Rookie of the Year. Some people are saying all the great different types of stuff about Will Anderson. He's 21 years old. That's a young man. A lot of motor left on him. Lot of motor in him. Someone in chat says there's no generational player in this draft. I mean, that's set to opinion, right? That's set to I guess opinionated. I think Will Anderson can be, personally. What's up, Matthew? Appreciate you, man. Thank you so very much. He says, I just want to say I appreciate you and your content. Thanks, man. Thank you so very much. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Yeah, and here's the thing, man. This is what's going to be too, right? Some people are going to be disappointed. Let's just put it this way. In 4 days, some people are going to be very disappointed with what's going on. I get the idea of some people saying that Will Anderson can be a bust. I get it. I understand it. It's the draft. It's what it is. It's lottery. Is what it is. You take a chance on a player that you feel like is going to be it, right? Just like we did with Kyler, just like we did with Zaven, just like what we did with Isaiah Simmons. Exactly like it. Some people aren't going to like it, and that's completely fine. Because in 2 or 3 years down the road, that's when we seem to find out. That's when we seem to find out. And people's minds start to change. So we'll see. What happens if Will Anderson takes, what happens if Texans take Will Anderson? Yeah, oh yeah, I'll trade down. Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'm cool with that. That's completely out of our control. As Cardinals, that's out of our control. You can't do anything about it. They take Will Anderson, it's out of our control. We can't do anything. I'm not going to be upset about that. I'll be upset at the Texans, not the Cardinals organization. What are they going to do? Trade up to get one? No. Yeah, you trade back and then you get the picks. You get the picks. Get a chance at Jalen Carter. Get a chance at a good tackle. Get a chance at a cornerback. Sorry. Something in the chat says Tyree Wilson is now in the betting favor to be the first round defensive player. That sounds to me that people truly feel like the Arizona Cardinals are going to go him, right? That's what it seems to me. To me, betting stuff, it's all people's opinions. It's what it is. It's people's opinions. It's the rumors. It's the outside noise that has come and gotten to people's minds saying that Tyree Wilson, like the Cardinals, like him over Will Anderson. If they do that, oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't know where we would go there. We'll tackle that bridge when we get there. We'll tackle that bridge when we get there. But as of right now, per Peter Schrager, the Arizona Cardinals are open for business. I think Will Anderson will be that guy. I think he will be. And it terrifies me that we are having the idea of Seahawks picking two steps back or 2 picks back. The Colts aren't going anything else but a quarterback. Let's be honest. You give the Seahawks Will Anderson, all y'all people, all y'all people, come back. Most people don't come back. Data said he's going to come back, so I hope he does come back. Most people don't come back. Most people don't come back. The people that said I'm too hard on Cliff, the people that said that he's going to win us a Super Bowl and that I'm wrong, most people don't come back. I actually had a live stream with some guy that said that Cliff is going to get us a Super Bowl. I was like, okay, let's see. Nowhere to be found. What's up, Deus? I tease you a lot, but you take it like a champ. We will pick Will Levis, that or CJ Stroud, best player available. It's reality. I got the white jersey, so sleek. Keep hustling, bro. Appreciate you, man. Dude, that's awesome, man. Honestly, if you have Twitter, if you have Instagram, I would love to see what it looks like, the new jersey. It doesn't have to be on you, but if you could take a picture of it, that would be absolutely cool. I'm curious to figure out like what it looks like in the real world, because I haven't gone to Just Sports. I haven't gone to like any of the team shops quite yet to look at the new threads yet. So yeah, you can do that. Tweet me out on Twitter. All my handles will be right here. Go ahead and at me or on Instagram. Send it that way if you can. If not, no worries. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to everybody. I know we got lots of differences of opinions. The best thing is the people that can obviously have a conversation amongst each other. Some people don't take conversations very well. Some people, they don't like difference of opinions, and that's fine. I know what I feel like I want, right? I want the Arizona Cardinals to do the right thing at number 3 if available. If not, we'll see. We will see how it all shakes out, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you so very much for all the contributions coming our way. Big shout out to Deus. Thank you so very much. Big shout out to AZ Fan. Thank you so very much for the contributions. Everybody that's in the chat, if you guys haven't done so already, smack the like button. Do it for the channel. Even if you guys don't agree with me a lot with, these takes and all this different stuff, we all do it for the understanding that the Arizona Cardinals will hopefully one day be Super Bowl bound, one day be an organization where we're constantly, always in contention. So thank you everybody for tuning in. I absolutely appreciate everybody for coming through. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Cards.